myself.
Hey everyone.
Hi. So February's here already. Oh my God. Our theme is connectivity this month. And whoa, that's a big one. So we're looking at how does connectivity exist not only within our practice, but maybe also outside of the practice. So this is a big conversation. And we thought we'd open it up right here. So Nat, when you think about connectivity, let's say within your practice, what comes to mind for you?
I think like a seamless flow from asana to asana. So not just jumping through, but really bringing focus into the transitions and allowing the breath to be seamless through it.
Where it becomes, if I'm hearing this correctly, more about the movement between poses. Of course, the poses have their integrity once you're in them. But for you, the first thing that comes to mind is sort of that transition. How do I get from point A to point B mindfully, consciously?
Exactly.
Yeah. And then I agree. And then for me, it's like, okay, then next level, okay, once I'm in, Supta Padangusthasana or whatever, Warrior 2, whatever I get into, where I land, how then, where do I find connection there? Through the breath, through subtle adjustments of movement.
A teacher actually that I took the other day said, which I really, really enjoyed, was think about the breath as a circular mechanism. So it never ends. It just keeps going. Like let the exhale be born out of the inhale and the inhale be born out of the exhale. And it really resonated deeply within me. It really struck home. And it made me feel this like infinity loop moving through my body as I was breathing, as I was transitioning, as I was moving into my poses, and as I was even in the poses. And if I didn't have that smoothness, that suppleness of that circular breath, then I knew I was going too far and I was losing the connection. Yeah, exactly. And I was losing the connection of the practice itself.
Yeah, something a student and I were talking about yesterday at the space, after a therapeutic class, she mentioned, I'm so used to pushing myself in a vigorous vinyasa class that I'd be sore for the next day, that I don't even have time really to realize what's happening until the class is over. And she was talking about how, her habits of practice had been formed at other spaces, and that she was so touched or illuminated by the fact that, wait a minute, my practice can be slow, mindful, and what she said, 10 times more beneficial to her well-being, mentally, physically, emotionally even. And so that speaks volumes to me as to how my practice has advanced over the years. Rather than tackling advanced poses, which I love to do, I spent a lot of time over the last few years slowing everything down and getting clear on what am I using? What muscles am I using here? How am I moving my foot forward? Am I finding that lift from the core, or am I using momentum of swinging my leg from third point down dog forward? And really, really getting clear on all that. And,
getting away for compensation and really going into the movement of the body and feeling which muscles you're actually utilizing instead of always going into the same muscle chain, which you depend on, which is so good. When you slow down movement, you can actually take the time to really see and go through, which movement is it when my knee moves to my chest, or is it when my foot just comes off the ground that really makes me struggle in
how have posture. I always done that? And is there a possibility to build a new pathway?
Exactly.
To move more consciously.
I think the word power and, the word advanced, I think maybe sometimes we can look at it in so many different ways. It doesn't mean a powerful practice. I have to sweat. I have to lose my breath. I have to do this, It could mean slow it down. Take the time to really feel your body, and then it becomes such a powerful practice, and you become so empowered because you can really see where your weaknesses are, where your strengths are, and where you're following into, as opposed to just going and going and going.
Well, and that's a huge part of the intention, as you know, about Element, is that we have a holistic space, so that there is sort of a diversity of movement happening. There is quick movement happening, but there's also slow movement happening. There's different ways into the same practice from various perspectives that I find, for me, that's what connectivity is all about.
Mm-hmm.
For me, being able to stay still and unmoving, even as someone who for years just needed to keep moving. I was a movement addict, you know, learning how to find a subtler movement within through the layers of fascia, connective tissues, even the organs in the body, and understand how my practice is affecting the deepest layers of my experience rather than the surface layer of what the pose looks like.
You said something that inspired me so much, connective tissue, the fascia of the body. Like, I teach yin and I teach restorative, and you know, I put a bolster under someone's chest the other day in a horizontal way, not vertical, so they really had the chance to open up their chest. And the more and more they stayed there, the more and more they told me they could actually feel their fascia opening up underneath their breath. And
it takes time.
Exactly, and it takes time to allow the body to open up and know that it's in a trusting place to be able to like shed through the layers. So it's good.
There's so much. Like I think connectivity could be our theme for a year. We chose the shortest month of the year. This is just a conversation getting started here. Please leave your comments, questions below. We have more videos coming throughout the month that will give practices that relate to some of the things we've been discussing, and we look forward to hearing from you and sharing with you. Namaste.
Peace.
Thanks, Nat.
Thank you.